Today we're going to talk about the tools I carry on my motorcycle. Welcome to my day job. This is Classroom for Puget Sound Safety. By day I'm an instructor, by night I'm a YouTube sensation. I'm going to share with you what I carry in my toolkit on my 2008 R1200 GS BMW. So this one's built specifically for my bike if I need repairs on that bike on the road. This is just a personals bag for toothbrush and so here we go. Inside the tool bag, I have everything in Ziploc bags. This toolkit resides underneath the seat of my bike, which means it does get wet and it gets moisture, and I keep it on the bike all the time. So this just helps keep from rust and decay on the tools. Voila, my magic toolkit. So here's the way I built this. What I did was I went to my motorcycle, I went to my toolkit, and I would find things like a wrench. I'd go to the bike, find all the nuts, all the screws, all the bolts, and I would put a wrench on it. Then I would take that number and I'd write it down on a piece of paper. So I knew exactly if I needed a Phillips or a flathead, how many sockets I needed, and that's how I actually chose the tools that are sitting on this table. Your particular bike will probably be somewhat different. If you take a look at these, you'll notice all of my tools have red stripes on them. This bike has 2 red stripes. One of my other bikes has single red stripes, and my wife's bike has white stripes. And what that helps us do is if we put all the tools out on the ground, especially if we're sharing tools or if I'm helping somebody else, when it's time to clean up the mess, I know exactly which tools belong to me and which tools belong to the other bike. Each bike has its own special toolkit. The first time I started carrying a hammer was when we had bent a rim. Down in Mexico, we had to go purchase a hammer so that we could actually bend the rim back to straight. Every time I bend something metal, a skid plate or an aluminum pannier, this helps straighten it out. This one is a lightweight Stanley, and it has a very small steel shank that goes through the handle, which makes it very lightweight. But it opens up very large, and that allows me to use it for the back axle nuts. And because it's adjustable, I can use it as a secondary tool if I need an additional. I also carry a smaller one. This allows me to get down to the smaller sizes that may not be typical metric, or for some reason I have a piece of kit that uses standard. That's an adorable little wrench. This is for the spark plug. So this spark plug required a special spark plug socket to get into the heads to pull that out. So this one I've actually shaved the outside off with a grinder. I'm pretty well known for adapting tools to my bike rather than hunting around to always find the perfect tool. This is one of those really inexpensive, cheap factory toolkit plug socket for a Yamaha TW200. The outside edges of this fit my front axle nut perfectly. When I do service or maintenance on my bike, locally, I pull out the toolkit that I carry with me. And that way, if I find myself having to go to my big toolbox to get additional tools, then I need to figure out, do I need to add that particular tool to my toolkit, or am I just doing that because the tools in my big toolkit are nicer than the tools I carry with me? So I want to make sure I can make all the repairs needed while I'm actually out traveling. I do carry extra light in case I need to do some kind of repair or fix a flat tire on the side of the road after dark. This one here allows me to check for voltage, so if I have any kind of electrical system problem, but also for troubleshooting if any of my electric gear goes out, any of my charging items go out for charging my computer. And the Allen keys I select the same way I select the wrenches. I just go around the bike. I have a Leatherman that I keep in the toolkit on the bike, and then I also have one that I keep in my jacket in my riding suit. So it's actually kind of a backup, but I want to make sure that if I forget one or lose the one that's on me, I always have one for the kit. So this has the needle nose, it has wire clippers, it has, you'll notice there's no screwdriver in this particular setup. So right now I'm relying on this tool for the Phillips and for the flatheads. This here is a box cutter. It's small, it's thin, it's light. And just having this to trim If I need to make repairs and trim off wire ties, and it just weighs nothing. So there's no reason not to just... All right, so the tape measure. This allows me to just make sure I don't get too fat while I travel. Now, seriously though, the tape measure I use for setting suspension so I can check sag on the bike. The other reason I started having this is when I'm traveling, sometimes I have to make repairs and I don't have everything with me. So I need to go to a hardware store, I need to fabricate something. Having a tape measure allows me to get more precise measurements for either buying materials or to manufacture things. On the valve stem, I always keep a core tool for removing the valve stem. But I always also keep a higher quality one in the toolkit here so that it doesn't spin off or damage. So this is for doing flat tire, the inevitable flat tire. Calling AAA or calling for help isn't going to work if you're up in the mountains and you have no cell service. And most of those places, carrying a set of tools to break the bead, to pull the tire off, and a set of tire irons is pretty critical. For me, I carry the Motion Pro Bead Pro. Not an inexpensive tool, but worth every single penny. This is one of the best tools I've seen on the market in a very long time. This side slides underneath. This slides in, so this slides between the tire and the rim itself. This goes in and sandwiches, and then all you do is squeeze them together and it pops it off the rim. The back side of these are a set of tire irons. Knowing how to pull a tire off, even if you have a tubeless tire, I carry a tool for patching tubeless tires. If I happen to pick up a nail on the pavement, this tool allows me to punch through the hole and plug it. As an adventure rider, this usually isn't what I need. If you end up with a flat, it's because you've hit something and you've either cut a tube if you have a tubeless tire, or you may have actually sliced the tire itself. So having a tool that you can remove the tire so you can put a tube inside is something you need to know how to do and have the right tools for. To air it up, I have a regular air compressor. This is a slime pump that was inexpensive. I removed all of the casings on it. There's lots of different moving parts, so you need to be very careful. Also, these pumps can get very hot, but most importantly, the modification is the power supply. I have got my bike wired in all over the place. So I've got this SAE plug, lets me plug into any one of those points. These are the tools. Wait. This is a magnet, and dropped a screw or nut down inside the motor somewhere, or where it slipped down between, absolute gold. So this toolkit is for my shaft drive 1200. But if you have a bike with a chain, there's a couple other items that you need. Now, I don't recommend using this once you've used it on the chain, but if you really need to, I suppose you can multi-purpose it. But I take a toothbrush, and this allows me to clean the chain. If you have a chain failure or a bad link, you may have to cut out that link and splice the chain back together, or to actually splice in another section of chain. I always carry a little section of chain. To do that, I have a chain removal. This actually pushes the pin all the way out, so it's a chain breaker. And I also have a chain press. And make sure you have a wrench that you can adjust your spokes with. This is almost everything I carry, whether I travel local or whether I travel international. The only difference is really the other items I carry for repairs. These tools, because they're always with me and under the bike and they're going to be damaged, these are pretty much a low end to mid-range. The wrenches work pretty well, but these were maybe $8 for the set of wrenches, $1.99 or $2, probably about $6. There's a couple items that I would make sure you have good quality. I wouldn't go too cheap on a cruddy ratchet that breaks. Is going to make for a bad day. If you're going to carry a multi-tool, go with something that's high-end. But the rest of these, every time you do service, take the toolkit out of the bike and do the service with the tools you carry. I'll put a list of these tools in the show notes below, and some of the links for some of the nicer tools like the Motion Pro. If you enjoyed this video, click like, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Today we're going to talk about the tools I carry on my motorcycle. Welcome to my day job. This is classroom for Puget Sound Safety. By day, I'm an instructor. By night, I'm a YouTube sensation. I'm going to share with you what I carry in my toolkit on my 2008 R1200 GS BMW. So this one's built specifically for my bike if I need repairs on that bike on the road. This is just a personals bag for toothbrush and so here we go. Inside the tool bag, I have everything